A lot of questions this morning in Fort Worth, Texas, after an officer shoots and kills a woman inside of her own house.
A woman is dead after being shot and killed in her own home by a Fort Worth police officer.
Put your hands up, show me your hands.
She was the cool aunt who stayed up till 2 a.m. playing video games.
And that's what 28-year-old Atatiana Jefferson was doing in the overnight hours with her nephew.
What's up, show me your hands.
We went from a welfare check to a woman being killed by the cops.
Shot through a screened window.
If you're tired of hearing about these cases and you're tired of me reporting them time and time again, just imagine how tired those are who have to deal with it.
The hardest part about this is I spoke with an 8-year-old who explained what it was like inside of the house.
Atatiana Jefferson was her name. She was 28, a college graduate and a highly respected and beloved member of her family. But around 2 a.m. on October 12th, she wasn't any of those. She was to become another name added to the endless list that just continues to grow day by day.
An attorney says the 28-year-old woman was playing video games with her nephew right before she was shot.
A neighbor of Atatiana Jefferson, whose words weigh heavy on my heart today when I watch this video, which I will throw to, called a non-emergency hotline after he was concerned about an open door at her residence. And I want you to listen to this man's words.
My reaction is, it makes you not want to call the police department. Right. If you don't feel safe with the police department, then who do you feel safe with? Do you just ignore crime or ignore something that's not right? And that's sad in today's society.
He called for help, concerned about his neighbor. He did what most of us would instinctively do when concerned. Now, I can't imagine, but he has to carry a weight around for doing something any good neighbor would do, and it's not his fault, nor is it fair. Blame resides in one place.
Fort Worth police confirm an officer shot and killed Jefferson.
According to a statement released by the Fort Worth Police Department, officers arrived at the home around 2:25 a.m. and after seeing the open door, they walked around the perimeter of the residence. The department said while doing so, officers saw a person inside standing near a window. Quote, perceiving a threat, the officer drew his duty weapon and fired one shot, striking the person inside the residence. Police said, and per the video, the officer yelled, "Put your hands up, show me your hands," before firing a shot less than a second later. So let me ask you, someone yells at you to put your hands up, how are you possibly able to oblige within a second? I'm pretty sure it takes close to a second to even do so. So if you're yelling that and within 3 seconds of seeing and calling out these commands, how can someone follow this? Also being stated that at no point in the video did the officers identify themselves as police officers. So if you're at Atatiana Jefferson and you see people lurking around your house, you have every right to be skeptical of that and go to the window to see. And after all of this, what is being released to the public?
Police say a gun was found inside of the house.
Well, what do we expect in situations like this? When Botham Jean was killed in his own apartment whilst eating ice cream by Amber Geiger, it was released that he had a small bit of marijuana in his apartment because that was clearly essential to the investigation, right? But in this situation, it has been released that Atatiana had a firearm in her residence. Not that she was holding the firearm, because she wasn't. She was unarmed. But that she had it. So why does this hold any relevance to the case whatsoever? I mean, after all, Texas is an open carry state, is it not? You have people walking into Walmart with AR-15s attached to their hip, but a black woman in possession of a firearm in her home, not holding it, that's relevant information, not the name of the officer and the further details of the case. But this is what we've come to realize to be the script when an unarmed black life is taken. This is where we come in. We fight back against it. We talk about who she was, how many lives she touched before this tragedy took place. Listen, I hate having to report on these stories. I hate it. But I know that as much as I hate having to report on it, imagine how much these people who are facing such oppression hate having to face it. Having their voice be silenced when, say, they take a knee to try and shed light on such injustice. I have a role to play because I understand that the chances of me being the next Botham Jean or Atatiana Jefferson or Philando Castile are very slim. And I'm aware that using my privilege to shed light on that is a role I can play to try to help shed light on this injustice and bring an end to this endless tragedy that just seems to be adding more victims day after day.